Hey boos, in this video I give commentary based on my opinion. Nothing is to be taken as factual. We are just here to have conversation. We don't expose and we don't sip tea on this channel. I'm giving you real talk straight, no chaser. Let's see if you can handle it.
Cause I'm a boss.
Oh, hell no!
My son never came home.
Look, I'm sure that he's gonna turn up. First name?
Jamal, Jamal.
Does he have any distinguishing scars, tattoos, gold teeth? Does he go by any street names?
He doesn't have a street name.
There was an incident.
What does that mean?
Further information needs to go through Lieutenant Stokes. I don't know him personally. They told me that he's been paged to come down here immediately.
I want to know now.
Man, I'm glad you're here.
She went from like 0 to ghetto and nothing flat.
It's okay. Everything's gonna be fine. Where's our son?
Ma'am, I have kids too.
Any of them black?
Excuse me?
Keep your hands on the wheel, boy. Look straight ahead. Don't make any sudden moves. Wouldn't want to make the man in the bulletproof vest nervous when he's pointing a Glock at your head. You're the one who disappeared from his life.
Oh, this is my fault now.
Well, you walked out on him. Let's just find our son and go back to our respective corners, okay?
Fine. Listen to me.
We have been waiting and we've been patient.
We are done being strung along.
Where is Jamal now?
I want to know right now. I want to talk
Where
to you.
is he?
I don't know what you expect me to do.
Please, find my son!
Hi guys, it's Yanni and I'm back with another video. In today's video, we're going to be talking about American Son on Netflix. This movie was originally a Broadway play, and I saw a lot of movie critics giving it a low score because this movie was more so about dialogue. This play originally was produced by Shonda Rhimes, Jada Pinkett Smith, and Gabrielle Union. But when Netflix picked it up, Kenny Leon ended up producing this film. But when you look at this movie, you're like, oh, they're in one room the whole entire time. They're not really doing much. We never get to see Jamal, the son. So a lot of people were complaining about it, but not really understanding that this film was originally a play. And the producer decided to keep the aesthetics the same because they wanted to really focus in on the message. I mean, we've seen this before. We've seen police brutality movies before, kind of like the same thing, but it still needs to be talked about. But why not focus on the message around police brutality? Because we see it, it's our reality for some of us. So I really loved where the producer went with this, and we really get to focus on the message, and that's the number one thing that I love about this film. Another reason that I really liked it is when we get into some of these movies, a lot of people like to focus on the characters, a lot of people like to focus on the setting, where it took place, all the other things that, you know, typically happen when creating a film. There's a train, so please ignore it, okay? Because I have to record this. I'm trying to go out, you know what I'm saying? I'm trying to get out here in these streets, so I don't have time to like wait for this train to go away. So please just bear with me. So let's talk about the title of this video: When Your White Husband Can't Save Your Black Son. And this can go both ways. When your white spouse can't save your black child. This can definitely go both ways. And that's probably like the number one thing that I didn't really like about the film, was that the white spouse being a male, you know, because black women, I feel like we get a lot of flack for dating white men. We're called bed wenches and things like that. So it would have been nice for it to be flipped for this movie only because we get a lot of flack for it. So it would have been nice to see it the other way around. But all in all, it's like whatever. I know there are critics out here regarding this movie that are most likely saying, well, that's why black women shouldn't be out here dating a white man. Like, look at them. I'm not gonna say all situations or all marriages that are interracial that happen to to be with a white man would be like this, but it really gives you an honest insight on how it could be. And we honestly get to see the reality of what it's like having a white spouse. On YouTube and Instagram, I feel like they really glamorize the interracial movement, the interracial couples, and I'm not against interracial dating. I am definitely pro-black and I prefer to date a black man, but the reality is I don't want to die alone. There are more women than there are men, and I honestly want to end up with someone. So it's like, for me as a woman, as a black woman, if I don't get chosen by a black man, who I'm supposed to die alone. Okay, I'm supposed to die alone. I'm pro-black, but at the end of the day, some of us will not get chosen because there's just not enough men, especially black men, to go around. In reality, when it comes to interracial relationships though, when it comes to this movie, we really get to focus on the challenges that are faced when you have a white spouse, and we get to see the reality of that. When we look on YouTube, some of the black women here on YouTube, they like to glamorize interracial dating, but they never talk about the cons when it comes to interracial dating. That's why I'm not really on the whole bandwagon, because I don't view having a white spouse or a white man as this like savior or like this safe space. If it happens, it happens, but I'm not just gonna seek out a white man because black men are not doing it for me. You know what I mean? Like, I'm going to actually seek out a white man because I actually fell in love or some shit. You know, I'm not gonna just do it because I feel like that's the answer to black men. I don't believe in that, but I like how we get to really get real insight on the challenges that are faced when it comes to dating or marrying interracially. And I don't feel like we get that here on YouTube with some of these platforms. I don't feel like we get that on Instagram. We really don't get real insight. Some things that I really want to highlight from the film. America does not value black children. Clearly they don't. So we have Kendra. I don't really remember the husband's name, but her son Jamal, she decided to marry a white man. They had a interracial, biracial son, and he looks black. The message was so clear. You know, America does not value black children. This is a black mother who taught her son to talk proper, exceed in school, being that he was going to graduate at the top of his class, by the way. She sent him to one of the best schools in their area, their state, and America doesn't care. They don't care. They only see the blackness, right? The stereotype. That is considered a threat because of the stereotypes, which, by the way, was created with blackface. American history here. Yes, American Son, American history. That's where the stereotypes actually originated from, was blackface. Black people, we're taught to work twice as hard just to be seen as equal, because that's why we do it. But the reality is that the stereotypes and the white privilege that we don't have because of our skin, we will never be seen as equal. It's nearly impossible for us to truly live the American dream. Black children, black people, we are not valued in this country. We are seen as a threat because of our skin. Number two, another thing I'm gonna highlight. Social media glamorizes interracial couples, and this film is a reality check. Marrying a white spouse won't save you or your mixed children from experiencing racial injustice in this country. Number three, the cop was racist and he was stereotyping Kendra, and he was stereotyping her son, whom he has never met, by asking for street name. Does he have any AKAs? So he was stereotyping her son because he happened to be black. And when he was asking her all of these questions that really didn't matter because they were really a bunch of stereotype questions, he really wasn't trying to get down to what actually happened when he got pulled over. He was asking her all of these very racial profiling questions, and so she never had a chance to begin with. Like, she never had a fair chance. Kendra, the mother, never had a fair chance. Jamal never had a fair chance because they're black. Also, number four, the black son. Let's talk about the black son in America. What it means. So when a black son is born, he has 3 strikes against him, right? A white kid, a white son, has 0 strikes. But a black son, a black boy, when he is born, he has 3 strikes against him the day he is born. And every mother, every black mother knows this. A, he's born black, so his skin is considered a threat. Strike 1. Strike number 2, one day he will be a man, which makes him even a bigger threat, especially if they're tall, you know, and muscular. I have brothers. One is 6'5", the other is 6'8". They're big. They wear like a size 14 shoe, 15 shoe. They have big feet. They're big men. So that one day he will be a man, that's a huge threat. Strike number 3 would be people will automatically fear him, and he will always be a target. There will always be a target on his back. That's 3 strikes, right? So it only takes a small thing for him to either end up in jail or dead when it comes to the black son in America, and that's the reality. That was another message that was in the film. Number 5, when her white husband walked in throwing his privilege around. You know how he walked in the room, and white people don't even notice when they have the privilege because they're so accustomed to their privileges and their lifestyles that they don't even notice when they are flexing it. So when he walked in the room, when he first got there on the scene, he was flexing his white privilege with the cop, you know, laughing it up almost like they was related, like they was cool, like they was down, you know, when in reality we later find out that they murdered his son. But you know, with his white privilege and with him being ignorant to the fact that black people go through things on the daily and black people are profiled, he didn't understand that. So he over here flexing his white privilege thinking that that's going to get him somewhere, but his son is black, so that white privilege is a void, right? It won't work. Meanwhile, the entire time that his ex-wife or his wife Kendra was being asked all of these questions and he was being profiled and stereotyped as a thug, right? But his dad is white. The father, the white husband, decided to sweet talk the cop and low-key bond with him, knowing he called his ex-wife a ghetto bitch. That made me question how many times has that happened, seeing that he married a black woman, and how many times he's been around either his family, co-workers, white co-workers, or whatever, and they've done that to him to his face, and he really didn't even defend her, which I found to be interesting. Number 6, names being too black. So they were arguing about the name choice that they had chose for their son. She named him Jamal, but his father kept calling him Jay because he didn't feel comfortable with the name. He felt like it was too black. But his mother, Kendra, his wife, she named him after her brother, I believe. And I think it has something to do with maybe he was murdered or he died suddenly or something like that. But she ended up naming him after her brother. When it comes to us black women, when we birth black sons, we have to worry about when we name our son if we're doing right by them by choosing a black name, because we know what comes with that. Some black women or some black parents don't care, but personally me, I care. I definitely care. Me and my husband are really gonna have to sit down and really make a hard decision. My parents, they chose very basic first names. They kept it real black with my middle name. My middle name is Aisha. That's how my mom decided to do it, and I respect her for that. That's something that we have to face as black people, and when I become a parent, that's something I will have to face, me and my husband, when it comes to naming our children, because we understand that if we choose a black name, most likely that kid will be stereotyped. I keep looking down, so I apologize, but I keep looking down because I have notes and I don't want to miss anything. So number 7, white husband doesn't understand his black looking son lives in a different world than him. So he actually believes, because he spent $250,000, I quote, $250,000 on his education, that now he will be viewed as equal. Black people, we've been working twice as hard, and to be honest, they owe us a mill and 100 acres, to be honest. So $250,000 ain't shit when you have black skin. I made an entire video on ASAP Rocky. I live in Calabasas. They didn't give a shit about him living in Calabasas and, you know, California. They didn't care. They saw his skin color and they said, he a thug, let's lock him up. They don't care about that. So her white husband couldn't understand that, because he never lived through it. He couldn't get it. And that's what they don't talk about when it comes to interracial relationships, raising children that are biracial that look black. It's sometimes not even about that they're biracial, it's about looking black, being biracial, coming from a parent who happens to be white and one happens to be black. They never talk about this type of stuff. Number 8, white husband. I keep calling him white husband because I really don't remember his name. I did not write his name down, so I apologize, but I keep calling him white husband, but we're just gonna keep going with that, okay? White husband stereotypes his own son because he was with black kids. Now that, wow, how you gonna stereotype your own son because he hanging out with his own kind? Oh, he could have been with his black cousins, and so you just gonna stereotype him because he with his black cousins? It was just crazy. Like, I was like, oh my gosh. So when that happened, that's when I knew I could never be with a white man. I can't. And these are the things that I be thinking about at night when I come home, and maybe I had to deal with a white woman or a white man that was racist to me, and I just want to vent about it, and I'm venting to someone that will never understand because they can never experience it. These are questions that I have when it comes to dating interracial. I don't see why so many black women feel that that's really the answer. If you fall in love with a white man and it happens naturally, I'm all for that. But when you try to force it and try to make it seem like black men ain't shit, so I'ma just go with the white men because, you know, they're nicer. These men nowadays in general, when we speak on a generation, it's a hit or miss. There's no savior. Like, no man can save you. Only you can save yourself. And if you focus on self-love, you will attract the man for you. And I don't know, hopefully a black man is in the cards for me, because I really, when it comes to this type of stuff, I just can't do it. When he was stereotyping his own son, I was just like, wow. I had so many questions. And then number 9, black mothers have the black son anxiety, separation anxiety, and it's when a black mother fears, because of the 3 strikes that he has against him, she knows that every day that that boy leaves the house, he may not come back. And that is the reality. He could simply be walking down the street. He could simply be hanging out with friends and something happens, all because of his skin. That black son mother anxiety is real. And sometimes I feel like when it comes to the black community and the whole black son and mother dynamic, I feel like the reason behind black mothers babying their sons, I feel like it's because of the 3 strikes. I feel like it has a lot to do with the 3 strikes. I do. You may not agree with me on that, but I think that's why black mothers baby their black sons, because of that. Number 10, Uncle Tom. This is my theory. Especially after watching American Son, they're going to put black people in these positions when these things occur, but only when they occur. Only when they occur will they put Uncle Tom type black people in these positions to handle these type of situations, like when it comes to police brutality, to kind of deflate that it's a racial issue and try to make it seem like it's more of a social issue or a community issue. I see that that's going to be happening a lot, and they're going to use those Uncle Tom black people to fill those spaces so that they can kind of diffuse the situation and not make it a racial thing. That's all that I have regarding this video, you guys. I would love your opinion on this, and if you haven't, please check out the movie on Netflix, American Son. Support black strong leads on Netflix so we can get more movies like this that give us black people a voice, so that our voices can be heard through messages that are in films like this one. So definitely check it out on Netflix, and also please comment your opinions and your thoughts down below. I love to read them. I learn so much through your comments, so comment them down below. And if you haven't, please subscribe to my channel, hit the notification bell so that you're notified when I upload, and I'll catch you in my next one.